Hey everybody, it's your boy Jimbo. Welcome back to another video, and I apologize for my voice. I'm currently going through a cold right now, but yeah, the bug decided to get me before summer instead of in the spring like it usually does. So yeah, kind of sucks, but slowly pulling through. But anyway, this little Stihl BG50 leaf blower actually sounds pretty good, doesn't it, guys? You know, especially for being Stihl's cheapest leaf blower at only $159. It has done the job quite well so far, the handful of times that I've used it. Really the only reason that I'm using it right now is because I want to try and empty all the fuel out of it, so that way I can go back to using the Troy-Bilt. But at the same time, I also want to use this one while I clean the Troy-Bilt up and give it some much needed TLC. Which I'll have a video on that when the time for that comes. Keep a watch on my community posts to see when that'll happen. But yeah, like I said, the handful of times I've used it, it's done very, very well. It's very simple to figure out, very easy to control. You've got your choke lever right up there, your primer bulb right in there. You also have your kill switch up top right there, your air filter box, which I'll show you underneath of in a minute, and of course your fuel tank, and then of course your throttle. So yeah, there's nothing really fancy about this one. It's just your standard 27cc leaf blower. Now granted, it is not as powerful as the Troy-Bilt, because unfortunately this one only has an output of 134, 135. But again, in my experience, going back to the experience thing again, 134 miles per hour is more than enough to do what I need to do. Because the Troy-Bilt one does about 200, 220, and that one is substantially higher than this one. But at the same time, this one still does a really good job for the price, especially for that. Something else that I kind of sort of missed, and I want to turn your attention to before moving to the other side. Other side's nothing fancy. I'm only going to show you that one for a couple seconds because really it's only just the blower fan intake side. But this is where your notch is, to where you can pry it up with a flathead screwdriver and using your other hand twist and pull the tube out, which is a heck of a lot simpler on my Troy-Bilt, because on the Troy-Bilt, and using this one as an example, there are two latches or two prongs right there on the Troy-Bilt that have to be depressed with a screwdriver, and unfortunately it doesn't look like that's going to be easy to do. So yeah, this is a very, very, very welcome thing to see, and it lets me know that even if I was somebody that didn't know what I was doing, I'd still be able to. And here's that view of the other side. Like I said a moment ago, not too much. It's just the blower fan intake. Unless, of course, that's significant, a better view of that latch that I mentioned a moment ago. Alright guys, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this side cover here. There's 3 screws on this thing holding it on. You got one right here, another one right back in here, and then your third one is right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get things started here. Alrighty, we got that cover off and got a better view of what's under here. Mainly doing this to get a bit of an idea of what I can expect to work with if I ever do need to take that cover off. Here is your coil going all the way up to your spark plug. There's your cylinder. There's the muffler. There's a better look at that carburetor and that. Alright guys, we got the air box cover off, and here is the actual air filter on this. And that's what the air box looks like on the Stihl BG. The air filter, of course, slips back on pretty easily and feels to have a good seal around the edges. Definitely a lot easier to put on than the one on my Troy-Bilt, the air filter on the. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much it for everything that's under the cover. I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera for about a minute or two, so that way I can put this thing back together, and I will rejoin you guys and we'll finish the video off with one last shot of this thing put back. And there it is, guys. A perfect shot of this thing all put back together to finish off the video. I thoroughly hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it and showing this to you guys. Hopefully in the future I can show more of this thing doing its thing out in the field. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here and get myself some rest so I can get to feeling better. Hopefully see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Take care, stay safe, and have a good one, folks. Especially in these crazy, crazy trying times.